They said it couldn't be done. They said it wouldn't last. White man, black man. America F1. America F1 coming to you straight from San Francisco, California. Sherman Tillman, Michael Lawler. America F1.
Buenos dias.
It is morning time in San Francisco.
It is. Another great show coming up.
Beautiful day in Frisco.
At America F1. We're here to talk about the British Grand Prix review. Don't do that. Don't. It's not that boring. It wasn't that bad.
Pretty boring.
Now, as British Grand Prix grow. As
grow?
British,
Did you say
as
grow?
They grow? Well, you were talking about like weed earlier, so that's why I said
Oh, you're thinking of a grow. Okay, I get it.
But as British Grand Prix go, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst.
How many times was the camera on for stupid? Never.
Well, it's the British Grand Prix. It's all about Norris. It's all about Hamilton. It's all about Russell, right?
Well, Lando got a good start.
Lando got a great start.
And then the second the DRS was open.
Bye. But didn't you think it was funny that they're giving all these excuses for Verstappen's poor start? And he didn't have a poor start. I said Verstupid.
No, you say Verstappen. His name is Verstappen.
Why do you always have to correct me?
Because
that's one thing I don't like.
You sound like
Why
a British guy.
Why are you always correcting me?
Like you sound like a British guy.
I don't correct you. Like,
yes,
just
you
leave me alone. If I pronounce the word wrong, so freaking what? Just let me do that.
We're supposed to be presenting Formula One with an American point of view, and we're not ruining the English language like the British do it. Now, say it right, please.
Max. Super Max.
Super Max for stupid.
Max Verstappen. Da-na-na-na. I learned that when I was in Vienna.
What?
In Austria.
Was there a song?
Yeah, they have a song. Max Verstappen.
Oh my God.
So they were trying to say that Max had wheel spin. All of them. Oh, well, he had a bad start because he had wheel spin. And I'm looking
That's why Lando went by him.
Yeah, but did you see any wheel spin?
Yeah.
You did?
You can hear it when he took off. Didn't you hear the car bog down when he started? That's what wheel spin is, Sherman.
Don't start with that shit. Okay? Don't start with that shit already. But what I'm saying is, no one's perfect. So he had a couple bad starts. So what? We all knew. Everybody watching, everybody in the audience, you, me, everybody out there knew it was only going to be a matter of time before Max passed him up. Everybody knew that.
Well, yeah,
there was no drama in that.
He was 8 or 9 seconds ahead by the first pit stop. So
let's get into it.
That's why I'm saying this season is going to go down in history as this is 6th victory in a row.
6 in a row. 6 victories in a row. 11 straight for Red Bull, tying the record by McLaren.
Is it McLaren that did that in 88 or 9 or something?
Which they will beat probably next race in the Hungaroring.
Well, no, you don't know.
You know?
The Hungaroring is a wild card track.
Low speed corners, right?
Everything is all about downforce. So, and the Red Bull is known for its straight line speed.
So then Aston Martin, Mercedes could have.
I don't know about Aston Martin or Mercedes. I want to see what the McLaren does next week.
McLaren's a high speed corner car, right?
We don't know that.
Well, that's what Lewis was saying.
Well, they said it was a rocket ship, but I mean
on the high speed corner.
But remember, they're going to put big old wings on for the next race, and we're going to get to see Ricciardo, who's back in Formula One, just as I predicted when they hired him at the end of last season.
Let's get into it. Breaking news: since we're doing our show a little late because I just got back from vacation, Nyck De Vries
down sacked
at AlphaTauri.
Hey, you got 10 races in that car, and they're like, "Yeah, we've seen it."
Danial Ricciardo.
We've seen it.
And Helmut Marko had said, and what he said was, "Well, we had a test at the British Grand Prix, and
Ricciardo got in the car, and he was right up the speed.
And he said that he would have been on the front row, so a little bit behind Max, but ahead of Norris.
He was ahead of. The most important part about this is he was ahead of Perez. So Perez gets a 1-year contract every year. He doesn't have a contract for 2024. Even if he did, they'll just rip it up and fire him. I mean, They're going to put Ricciardo back in the car next year because Ricciardo's going to come out. Sherman's going to hate what I'm about to say. He's going to completely
Don't say it! Don't say it!
The former, what's his name?
Yuki!
He is going to make him look like an amateur.
Is it really?
Oh, it's going to be bad.
Is it going to be that bad?
It's going to be bad.
Please don't say
He's going to be 3 or 4 tenths a lap. He's going to be 3 or 4 tenths quicker than him all the time.
Right out the gate.
Right out of the box. Because
Oh.
he's been doing simulator work for both
But
teams.
he's been doing simulator work for Red Bull, not
No.
that dog of a car that AlphaTauri has.
No, he's been doing simulator work for both of them. Because you have to understand something about Red Bull. All the drivers that drive for Red Bull and AlphaTauri are signed to Red Bull.
Okay.
They're not signed to AlphaTauri. So they can put them anywhere they want. That's the whole point of having that second team.
Don't say Yuki's gonna.
He's not going. I mean, I don't. And then they have that. What's the kid's name who they thought they were going to put in the car?
The American kid?
No. He's the next person in line in the Red Bull. Because Sergio's the first guy that they brought in who wasn't a Red Bull.
Who wasn't in the academy.
Yeah. So, and they have a kid in line for that, which will probably take Ricciardo's seat next year when he goes back to Red Bull. And then who knows where Perez is going to land.
What about all the hype they were talking about Norris coming to Red Bull? Just recently.
No, I
Marco
read something today. He's already signed a contract with Ferrari.
Who?
Lando.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he
I
signed a
didn't hear that.
pre-contract. Yeah.
Shut up.
That's what they said.
I don't believe it.
I don't know which.
So that means Sainz would be out.
Yeah,
And where would he go?
Supposedly, Sainz would go to
Back to McLaren?
No, to the Audi team, which is the.
Then who would take Norris's seat?
Who cares? It's McLaren. They're not a factory team.
You see me wearing the McLaren hat today?
Is that what you're wearing?
Yeah, see that. And I'm doing it because I followed McLaren all the way back to when Lewis and Alonso were having their battle. And
oh yeah, Norris got that great joke. He's like I learned to love Formula One when Lewis and Fernando were teammates, and they had such a great chemistry as teammates. And Max is sitting next to him, and next to Max is Lewis, and they're all laughing. So
that is hilarious. I hope and pray that Norris sees it through because he has a pretty big contract over here.
There's no such thing as a contract
McLaren.
in Formula One.
I know, I told you that
When you get that thought in your head, those
know
contracts,
that.
every contract has a clause in the contract for the driver to get out of it and the team to get out of it. So
I just hope that Norris finds a way to win a race.
I mean, because look
That's
what
all I
McLaren
hope.
did last year. They fired Ricciardo, but they still got to pay him. They're still
The
paying
guy's
him.
making $25 million off of them.
No, he's
Sitting around.
I think he's making $25 million total because I think Red Bull's paying him $5 million a year. So
That's a lot of money to
they
be
know
a simulator guy.
Dude, I told you from the beginning. They hired him to go back in the Red Bull.
Oh, for sure. He had
Come on now.
to. He had to recharge his batteries because he
Oh.
was. Let's be honest. At the end of last season, he was looking pretty bad.
The car sucked.
He was looking bad though.
He wore that.
He was looking bad.
Okay, this has happened before in the history of Formula One, where a teammate got beat by the other teammate in a bad car. Fisichella did it to Button when he was at Renault. When Renault bought the team back from Benetton. And Fisichella was just good in a bad car.
Okay.
Ricciardo was in a bad car last year that he didn't like.
Give me another instance, Mike. Don't just stop there. Give me some more history on that. Can you think of anybody else who's a good driver who's in a bad car?
That's the one I can think of because it's like, it depends. It's like, Ruben went to Williams, and that one year, I think it was 2011, the car just wore the tires off, and he kept complaining, and then they sacked him the next year. So if the car is bad, you can't do, or like, how about Alonso at McLaren when they were the Honda team? Couldn't do anything.
That is a great example.
Couldn't do anything.
That car was a dog.
No, the car wasn't a dog. The engine was a dog. You could remember he said GP2 and
Right. He was maligning Honda all the time.
Which is kind of funny if he's still at the Aston Martin Honda team when they bring Honda back in, but I don't think it'll be there.
I don't think they do that with him.
Because no, Aston Martin's going to be the Honda factory team. So,
Well, let's talk about 20-1.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I want to eat my words.
Eat it.
I've been talking big lip about Logan Sargeant this whole year, and he finally put a race together the other day.
He did.
He
still finished in 11th, I think.
No, that's okay though. That car shouldn't finish in 11th. This is the last play. It's basically the car was really good at this track because it's a high-speed track, and they made that car go fast in a straight line.
Yeah.
When they get to the Hungaroring, they're going to be
Back.
Yeah, they're going to be in the back.
All right.
Who came in last?
Came in absolute last. We have a couple DNFs. We'll start with Esteban Ocon.
Did his car blow up?
DNF. He DNF'd on lap 9.
I think his car caught on fire, if I remember.
And then Kevin Magnussen.
His car caught on fire too.
His car caught on fire. He's out in lap 31.
He's getting whooped by his teammate this year.
He's getting trounced, actually.
I wouldn't say it's trounced, but he's been beaten by Hulkenberg pretty good,
significantly.
But I don't know.
Well, Hulkenberg has always been a good qualifier.
Yeah, very good qualifier.
He's always had good race pace. He's just the guy he's the ultimate poster boy for bad luck.
Oh yeah, if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
I mean, he's the ultimate poster.
Who's the next?
Pierre Gasly, who got taken out by Lance Stroll.
Okay.
Now, I'm on board with this, Mike.
What?
I watched. You know how you can watch the race and then you can watch a specific driver.
Yeah.
So I watched Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
Wow.
He wobbles through the corner a lot, doesn't he?
Not only does he wobble, he does a lot of play with the steering wheel through turns that none of the other drivers do.
You're not
so the other drivers, they're going and they're really smooth around, like they're holding their line.
You're supposed to be smooth.
And every once in a while they'll do this like that. But he's going totally like this the whole way. And I was like, wow, that's very strange.
My daddy bought me a Formula One team.
Like, even I don't do that in karting around a turn. I'm like, I'm not doing all this.
Karting?
I go to that karting track, the indoor karting track out in South City. Actually, pretty good every time I go.
Anyways.
Yeah, buddy.
When we take him up to the track and the
don't start that.
pucker factor.
Pierre Gasly.
I want to say one thing about that.
And he got DNF'd, so he got hit by your boy, Lance Stroll. And it was weird.
He hits everybody every week.
He hits it on the side, and it just broke the whole...
No, he slid into him because he ran out of talent.
Came off the curb and slid into him, yes.
It's called running out of talent. Is what that is.
What?
Running out of talent.
Out of talent.
Anyways, I want to reiterate what I said last week. Alpine should sack both of their drivers and the team principal, hire Ross Brawn, get Vettel back in the car, and get a younger driver. You heard it here first.
Except for Gasly. I'm keeping Gasly.
Gasly's gone too.
Gasly's good driver, man. Gasly's good driver. In 17th place, the poor last race of Nyck De
He
Vries.
came in 17th. Was that a crybaby thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I don't understand because Nyck, Formula E champion.
Well,
Formula 2 champion.
Dude, he got 10 races. He got waxed by Yuki Tsunoda. Give me a fucking break. He's gone.
There's a lot of guys in the paddock on the grid that don't have that pedigree, that didn't win Formula 2, that are not Formula E champions.
Well, somebody didn't like him because when he won Formula 2, he never got a ride in Formula 1. So he had to go to Formula E for 5 years or something. Remember, he's like 27 or 8 years old.
26, I think he is.
And he won that championship, in 2017 or something?
Yeah, so what do you think it is with Nyck?
Because he's not any good. Do you have the difference between when I say the difference between a Nyck De Vries and Max Verstappen is like this much. That's what it comes down to. It's the same thing with baseball and football and basketball. Why are like a basketball player, they get old so fast.
Right.
Because they lose that little something they had. Once that happens, it's over for him, So he doesn't have it. And Helmut Marko, he's not someone who just is going to let you.
Yeah, he's very impatient.
No, he's not impatient.
No, because Albon, Hook, Look at all the guys that got the hook from Red Bull.
Yeah, I know.
Gasly, Hook.
They create a toxic work environment over there.
100%, it seems toxic.
But they do it on purpose. But look at the success they've had, so it works.
For one driver, it works.
No, it worked for Vettel. It worked for
That's
Webber.
what I'm saying. It works for one driver.
But that's all it has to work for.
All right.
Oh,
In 16th place, Yuki Tsunoda. So Yuki's
Really?
going to get an eye opener.
Oh, Yuki's gonna.
Ricciardo's going to be all over him next race.
We'll see because the car's a piece of junk. For some reason.
Okay, car's a piece of junk. I'm still going to say Yuki will out-qualify Ricciardo and will probably lose to him in the race. What do you think?
Like I said, I'm just.
Yuki's fast, dude.
No, he's not.
Over one lap, Yuki's fast.
Watches. He drives a lot like Lance Stroll. He wobbles through the corner a lot. He's anytime anybody out there who's watching this right now.
Yuki's everyone's favorite.
When you do this on the steering wheel, just so you know, Sherman, when you do this shit on the steering wheel,
talk about
it slows the car down. It creates friction. Very bad. Watch Michael Schumacher's hands on the steering wheel. Jensen Button's hands on the steering wheel. They never do this crap. It's like
15th.
Who's 15th?
Zhao Guanyu.
Oh, I don't think he's going to be in Formula One next year.
He has a big backing from China, though. Big market, a lot of money.
Doesn't matter.
Hard to say no to all that money. And
Well,
he's a good guy.
Well, the rumor is Sainz
person.
is going to get that seat, so
Why would he want to go backwards?
he has he'll have no choice. It's not going backwards because that's going to be the Audi team. You know how much money Audi's
A lot of money. They're going to pump it in, maybe.
Yeah, and they bought the Sauber team, which has everything. They have a wind tunnel. They have a huge facility. I mean, it's
14th place, Lance Stroll.
God, he was way behind yesterday on Sunday. He had no. I mean, the minute he hit, was it Gasly? He hit?
Yeah, Gasly took him out.
That was a really dumb mistake. He does that all the time. So next.
If his dad doesn't own the team, is he in Formula One?
No,
How is he gone last year?
he would have never been in Formula One.
Why does
His
this
dad
keep
paid for his seat to go to Williams, and then his dad, halfway through the 2019 season when he bought the Force India team? Was it 2019?
This is 23, so he didn't
think
buy
it was-
it in 19. No, I thought it was 20.
No. It was before the pandemic.
No, he didn't buy it completely before the pandemic. He just had a stake.
No, he bought the team because they were going into
He
receivership.
hasn't owned the team for 4 years, Mike.
Yeah, he has.
Dollar.
I think it's 2019.
You look it up while we keep moving. In 13th place, Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah, that's a good. That's where the Haas should finish on a good day.
Yeah, I feel bad for Nico because I really do believe he deserves a better car. I don't really understand why Haas can be so fast over one lap, but keep destroying.
No, the tires were off the car.
They keep destroying their tires, and they can't get a handle of it. They just can't get a handle on why they keep destroying the rears. I don't know.
Well, Aston Martin's been around since 1913.
In 12th place, Valtteri Bottas. That Alfa Romeo car is pretty doggy.
It looks just like the.
You know, we have. I feel I got a lunch box pail full of stuff from Alfa Romeo.
What?
Got a hat. I got a thermos. I got some stickers. What else did I get? Oh, and I got like one of those little half bags. So thanks, Alfa Romeo. Thanks.
They give you that for free?
Yeah, I got 2 bags. I'll give you one. Thank you, Alfa Romeo. Oh, and on that note, if other teams could send us stuff, we would like it so then we could give it out to some of our followers. That would be great. We'll send some letters out asking for merchandise so we can give out on the show to followers and further the great name of not only your team, but of Formula One. In 11th place, Logan Sargeant. Best race of the season for him, you think?
It was 2019 he bought the team.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Does it really say, did he buy the full team? No, he only bought a
No. He called. They rebranded it in 2020, Aston Martin, but he bought the team in 2019. You owe me $1.
So $1. I'll owe it to you.
I'll owe you.
I'll take it.
Just take it out. Take it out of the money I owe
Take
you.
out the thousands of dollars you owe me. What do you think about that, Logan Sargeant?
That's what I said. He did. He's maybe better than I thought he was, but he's
up and down though.
No,
even in GP2, he'd win a race and then he'd be like seventh.
He's a rich
boy.
work in progress. He did good the other day, and I didn't think he was ever going to do good. So
okay.
that's
good for him.
The thing about auto racing that most people don't know, and I had when I learned how to drive, is the first like 5 or 6 races I was in, I crashed out of badly. Bad. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're quick, you're good," and everything like this. And I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Right. You're thinking, nah.
And
horrible.
then I had the race that made me better. Mm-hmm. I did everything everybody told me. Finally, I waited I had to start last, and I was super patient for the first couple laps. And then I just started picking people off one by one, and I started 18th and finished second, and I got driver of the day. And then after that, no one could beat me. So
10th place.
That was promising for Logan Sargeant. I've been talking a lot of shit about him. So what's 10th place? Was that a crybaby?
Yeah.
What was the crybaby for?
For you.
Oh.
10th place. Very, very disappointing to me. And right after we finish this, we'll talk about them. Carlos Sainz in 10th. Charles Leclerc in 9th.
They didn't have a good day.
They didn't have a good day. It's right there. We're gonna get to them. We're gonna talk about Ferrari. We're gonna talk about their strategy. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. I'm a Ferrari fan. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
And the curse of Schumacher continues. They didn't do another. Did they do another mistake in the pit stop?
Of course they did great pit stops.
What, did they put the wrong tires on?
They had the mediums on.
Okay.
I mean, we wanted to talk about it later, but I guess I just can't stop. I can't stand it! They had the mediums on.
Uh-huh.
George Russell has the softs on.
Okay.
Who should pit first, Mike?
Oh, George should pit first. But they wore the tires off the car.
No, they didn't. When Charles Leclerc came in for his pit stop, there was not a mark on his tires. He had full rubber. They pitted him on the mediums like 5 or 6 laps before George even came in.
That's weird.
They were trying to do an undercut.
But it didn't work.
And here's the other thing. George couldn't pass. Charles Leclerc was ahead of George. Okay?
When he went to the pits?
Yes.
And then he came and went.
Carlos Sainz was ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
I mean, their pit stop screwed him up.
And they both pitted. I don't get it. You're on the mediums. He's on the softs. The mediums go longer. Charles Leclerc is a good driver. Why are you undercutting and worried about George?
Okay, come on.
About George?
Who came in? He's
on 8th? Soft tires.
Who came in 8th place?
Even get ahead of you on soft. So why are you worried?
Come on. Come on. Spit it out. What's next?
Alexander Albon.
What?
Alexander Albon. Best race of the season for him.
Absolutely.
For the Williams.
He was second or first in the first practice. Like, it was like bizarre. Like, him and Sargeant were up there. I think they were second and fourth or something. Well, the car is good in a straight line. So when we go to Monza, we'll see what it's like. But the McLaren, that's the big shocker this weekend. It
really is.
They just kind of
came out of nowhere. Yeah,
and the Aston Martin doesn't look like it did. They were ahead of everybody, and now they're
losing the.
Maybe they're behind Mercedes, and maybe they might be a little bit ahead of.
They're losing the upgrade wars right now.
Yeah.
Well, hats off to Alexander Albon. Fernando Alonso, 7th place.
That's about where the Aston Martin's going to be for the rest of the year, I think. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I think that's
why, because they were third the first like 5 or 6 races, right? He was on the podium.
Updates, I guess, aren't up to par.
No, I think the other teams' updates they just caught up.
Okay.
So
Fernando Alonso then passed by Sergio Checo.
Oh, Perez got 6, right?
From,
he started 12th or something?
I think he started 13th.
Okay. Yeah, his seat's in serious jeopardy right now.
It is, and the sad thing about that is there's so many great Mexican fans that go to the races.
Oh God,
go to all over the world.
When we go to Austin, the whole place is going to be Mexico.
Yeah. When I was in Austria, there was
a lot of Mexican.
Really?
Mexican fans. That's crazy.
And they're all Red Bull fans. So
because they haven't had a Mexican driver since the 60s. I
think it would be a mistake to replace Checo. I think he's a good number 2. He's a number 2. Okay, he's having a bad stretch right now.
He's having a really bad stretch.
He'll get a handle on it. His confidence is probably down a little bit.
He's been knocked out of Q3 like 4 times in a row or something like that.
Yeah, but he's also was on the waiting for 7 minutes for them to go out. So his tires got cold. I just think Checo, he's just having a bad run.
I think first of all, I think that the Red Bull team are still angry that Ricciardo went to Renault a few years ago. He was awesome at Renault too. They wanted to keep him for sure, but they didn't. I mean, they weren't going to pay him $25 million to be number 2. So,
but
I think they've always wanted him back.
So here's the since you brought that up, and I'll segue to all the people who watched Drive to Survive and came into the sport. If you watch that season with Ricciardo, and now I'm saying it like you do, Ricciardo.
I finally got him to say it right.
Wow, Jedi mind trick. Oh,
so
that's the Mandalorian.
Oh God,
got helmets up there. Mandalorian helmet.
Never mind.
So if you watch that season of Drive to Survive, they were favoring Max. Danny Rick was upset about it. Danny Rick that season was a better driver than Max.
I think he made a huge mistake going, but he got all that goddamn money.
He couldn't stand it that they were favoring Max over him. That's why. He couldn't stand that. First, and as a man,
first of all, he was the number 2 driver. I'm sure it was in his contract somewhere. Second of all, he went to, I don't feel sorry for him because he went to Renault. He got $25 million a year, both years at Renault, and then he got $25 million for 3 years at McLaren, even though he didn't drive this year.
He was good at Renault.
He made $125 million in the last 4 years. I don't feel bad for him at all.
All right. Let's
and he'll be back in the Red Bull next year, probably.
George Russell, 5th place.
He's a good driver.
You know what I didn't like about George? And I'm going to tell you, George. I didn't like the fact that when the safety car came out and Lewis Hamilton pitted, that you cursed on the radio when they told you that Lewis pitted, that you knew Lewis was going to be ahead of you. All last year, you benefited from the safety car. All last year. That's the only reason you finished ahead of Lewis.
Are you saying a race car driver was complaining and whining?
Yes.
Wow, that's never happened before.
But in the conversation after the post-race, where they interview people, he goes, well, Oscar Pastrami deserved the podium. And because of the pit car, Lewis got the podium. Now, what would Lewis have said? Lewis would have said, we had a great race. We got unlucky with the safety car coming out. Props to George for finishing where he did. We'll take a look at the telemetry. We'll work harder, and we'll come back next week.
Okay.
Positive. George, MF, oh, BS, oh, boo, wham. I'm starting not to like George. I really am. I'm starting not to like him.
He might have lost his temper. That happens a lot for racing.
I'm starting not to like George.
Have you ever heard of the red mist before?
Yes, I have. Let's move.
What is the red mist?
Moving on. Oscar Pastrami, best race of the season. Best race of probably his life.
Is that his name? Piastri?
Yeah, Piastri. We call him Pastrami. We're just having fun with you, Oscar.
Just to let everyone know, Sherman doesn't know what the red mist is.
I do know what the red mist is.
What is the red mist?
When you're driving and you kind of see red because that's all you see and all you care about is you and yourself and your line. You don't care about anybody else. And in that moment of madness and craziness, you'll say some shit and people might get pissed at it. But it's because you're in the moment, because you're driving so fast, because everything you're putting into that car is coming out.
No, that's not what the red mist is.
Oh, fuck you.
The red mist comes down over the driver's visor, and he loses his. What are you doing?
I don't need to hear myself. I don't need to hear you. Take it off.
And it's when you lose your temper, and then you.
What did I just say?
It's sort of.
What did I just say? I said when you lose your temper.
Who came in third?
I just said what you just
now
said.
You're seeing the red mist now.
You're an asshole. Lewis Hamilton. Your man. Third
What do
place.
you mean he's my man? What are you talking about?
Just because.
Oh, so he's my guy now?
Yeah, he's your
All
guy.
right. My guy came in third in about a 5th or 6th place car.
He had a great race.
That car's not very good.
That car's not good. He was on the softs. Pastrami. Oscar was on the hards. And so was, he kept him behind the whole time. And then Lando Calrissian, Wookie Norris was in second on the hards. Lewis had one chance to pass him, tried, and then just couldn't do it.
Like I said, even he said the car's draggy, which means it's not that fast down the straightaways. And it can't be because their cars are compromised now because they put the side pods on the car and put a new floor on it, and it's not. The underneath of that car will be completely different next year. There will be a completely different car. It'll really look a lot like the Red Bull.
I think they all look like the Red Bull.
They all look like the Red Bull now.
Second place, Gold Star.
Lando Norris.
Lando Chewbacca.
Said it was his best day of his life.
Oh man, I was so happy for Lando.
I mean, I was happy for him. I was happy for him getting in the lead at the beginning, but then I just like.
Well, we knew.
I knew what was gonna. I knew the second they got to the straightaway, it was like going to be over.
Not gonna last. But
I think the first DRS zone that was open, he passed.
And Max, Lando actually just moved to the side. He didn't even try to defend.
Of course not.
He was like, what's the point?
Because first of all, he could have done something, but what he would have done was just hurt his car and hurt. They got to you got to score those points. Coming in second is a lot of money. In this one race, they scored more points in this one race than they had the whole year season. Yeah.
First place, we all know.
Who won?
The unstoppable.
Who won?
The unmistakable.
Who?
The unimaginable.
Who?
Super Max. Super Max.
Oh, I can't believe they have a song.
Verstappen.
Oh my god, it's annoying. It's almost as bad as the Super Bowl
Max
shuffle.
Verstappen. Da-na-na-na. Max Verstappen. The guy's amazing.
Remember when they did the Super Bowl shuffle song from the Bears?
Oh, yeah. The Icky Shuffle. Remember that?
No, that was after that.
They had the Super Bowl Shuffle for Chicago.
Oh, my God. It was, even the black guys couldn't rap. It was that bad.
Oh, man. Max Verstappen, fastest lap, of course. But when you look at his fastest lap and you look at everybody else's fastest lap, he's not that far ahead. His fastest lap was 1:30.275 on lap 42. Lando Norris's fastest lap was 1:30.563 on lap 41.
Let me see that thing.
And then Lewis Hamilton's fastest lap was 1:30.545 on lap 43, which was barely past a hair off of Lando's pace. And so they weren't too far off of Max.
Wow, they were only 0.02 of a second.
So they were right there.
Lando and Lewis basically did the same lap time. That's crazy.
But
he was still a couple tenths faster, though.
He was. But then here's the rub. Let's check out their teammates' fastest. So Lando at 1:30.54 compared to Oscar at 1:30.850.
All right.
Now
he was almost a second behind Matt.
So George's fastest lap was 1:31.124. So Lewis was a half a second faster.
that was one lap, though.
Yeah, one lap.
You have to put all the laps together.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about it. Over one lap, it shows that there was a pretty good gap between Lewis and George. And
I think in one of the races I was in, I did.
And I'm going to start hating on George
Why? Oh, you want him to wear the black hat?
I'm gonna wear the black hat on George right now.
You don't have to like George.
I'm not liking George. I'm not liking how he talks about Lewis. I don't like how Lewis is trying to bring him up, praise him all the time, and he doesn't do the same thing. I'm not a fan. And if he pisses Lewis off, he better watch out. Because now he has a friend in Lewis. If he turns Lewis into the Nico Rosberg Lewis, he gonna be in trouble because Lewis gonna wax his butt.
Lewis is already waxing him. It doesn't.
But I'm just talking about if he turns him into that Lewis, he better mind.
We're not
be
friends.
nice.
We're not friends.
Yeah, he better be nice.
Famous last words.
Better be nice.
They asked Lewis like that 1 year, like, so are you and Nico still friends? He's like, we're not friends.
Yeah,
I mean, just
not at all.
Not at all.
No, not at all. Driver of the day for you, Mike.
And they live in the same apartment building in Monaco.
Yeah,
They still live in the same apartment building.
not friends.
Not friends.
I think he's going out with Shakira now. Shakira's been showing up at a lot of races.
Okay, he wants an older woman.
Well, he's
38,
old.
right?
Yeah,
But she's like 45 or 6 or something.
40 something. Yeah, she looks good still. Yeah. All right, driver of the day for you. Norris or Albon?
I'm going to say Sargeant.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm going to say Logan Sargeant. He drove a really good race. Considering.
Wait, who?
Logan Sargeant.
What did he do?
He came in, what did he come in, 11th?
11th, yeah.
Best race of his career so far.
Wait, look into the camera. Tell the camera.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
Look into the camera and say
Logan Sargeant.
The same guy who berated Logan Sargeant for his GQ interview, now you're on his butt. Now you're massaging his balls.
Okay.
Is what you're doing.
I'm jiggling the balls, yes, that's true.
Okay, all right.
Because he proved me wrong, right? So when someone proves you wrong, you got to man up, and I'm manning up right now and going. He drove the best race of his career so far, and let's see what happens next week.
I like that. You know what? I was gonna say that Albon was my driver of the day, but since you had such warm words for Logan Sargeant. And I could feel the love that you now have for Logan
I don't have love for I don't like him that much.
I am gonna also
you're gonna
change from Albon, who I thought was my race, because 8th for the Williams is awesome. Not only did he pass Leclerc on the track.
That's true.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna stick with it.
You gonna stick with that one?
He passed a Ferrari, a Williams, everybody. Passed a Ferrari on the track. And let's go, Williams, and wait till that new livery comes out. And it's woo! Williams is back, baby. We're back.
In fact, okay, calm down. In fact, what's his name said that like when he passed me, he's like, "Wow, this is kind of like old school Williams passing a Ferrari. This hasn't happened in many a moons."
Man, and when that new
Blundell said that, or Brundle, whatever.
Brundle. Yeah. Martin Brundle. Yeah. When that new livery comes out.
Oh, I like the new livery on the Williams. Looked good.
I'm buying all that merch.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it.
They had 4 renderings. I'm just wondering which one they're going to do.
Oh, it looks great.
Okay, what's next?
Next, we talked about the Ferrari strategy, which is driving me crazy. Every race is something. If it's not in qualifying, it's in the race. If it's not in the race, it's in qualifying. The only time they seem to have gotten it right was never. It's just maddening. I think they did all right at Austria.
Yeah.
But it's a good car. They have 2 good drivers, and they're just wasting the talent again, like they did with Vettel, like they did with Alonso, like they did with everybody since Schumacher.
The curse of Schumacher continues.
I think what needs to happen.
Hey, this is what needs to happen. Captain Tillman needs to go there and run Ferrari.
I will. Well, I don't need to run the whole team, just the strategy part.
No,
seriously. I mean, as a firefighter, I look at the fire, I decide what needs to be done, and I get it, I execute.
I'm sorry, if I had your job, if I saw fire, I'd be like, everyone run!
I think as a strategist and someone who not only follows the sport, but is good as a coach, because I coach basketball, coach baseball. I'm good in strategy. No one could do as bad as what's going on. No, I'm just saying. No one can be as bad as what's happening there. Heads need to roll.
They just got a new guy, though.
Well, fire him too, man.
Well, what's that? Okay, first of all,
fire these people. It's incompetent. Ferrari shouldn't be 9th and 10th.
This is the problem with Ferrari. They keep firing people. You can't fire the principal every time they have a bad...
No, don't fire the principal. Fire the pit wall.
They fired that guy like 10 times. There's been 10 guys.
Bring an American in there, then.
What the fuck is that going to do?
Bring me in there. Let's see.
Yeah, let's
see what happens. Can it be any worse?
Yes, it could.
No.
Yes, it could.
No, they're in 9th and 10th.
Just imagine you being the strategist. And
it's simple. Listen to me.
Sherman would run the car out of gas, run the tires off the car.
Listen to me. I would not pit someone on mediums before somebody on softs, who I am ahead of. I wouldn't do it.
That was a dumb decision.
I wouldn't do it.
Anyways, okay, what else? I don't want to talk about car anymore.
Let's go on to Merc. Merc and their pit stops. So Russell
they had a long one.
3.9.
Yeah.
Hamilton 3.2. The Red Bulls are
one of the cars, the front right tire, they had an issue.
It's always something. The Red Bulls are constantly in the twos.
You know, and so are the Williams.
Williams is constantly in the twos. I don't even think Mercedes is in the top 5 as pit stops. They were bad on pit stops last year. They're bad on pit stops this year. Everyone's talking about all these things that they can fix. Pit stops is just practice, man, and teamwork. There's no excuse for these constant 3.5 and 3.6 pit stops that Mercedes has.
I don't know.
There's no excuse for it.
Their car isn't competitive. Nobody's car is competitive this year with a stupid Red Bull.
But okay, so we try to improve from one race to another. One thing we can improve. If we can't improve,
Sherman, these guys, that pit crew practices every day for like 8 hours.
So then, why is the other team's pit stops in the twos and the Mercedes is constantly in the threes?
They had 2 bad pit stops yesterday or Sunday.
And last week they had bad pit.
Did they?
Yes, every week it's in the threes. Look it up. Every week.
It's like I don't know.
Every week.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, they had problems with the right front tire coming off.
Next race, Mercedes, I want to see every pit stop under 3 seconds. Every one.
Well, no, it has to be.
Every one.
You have to be in the twos because remember when you give up a second or so on.
It's a lot.
It's like 1,000 feet on the track or something. So.
Next up, we have the Hungaroring. Your prediction?
Boring.
I like the Hungaroring.
It's just it never really produces any good races because it's very difficult to pass there.
Yes.
Except the one year Nigel Mansell passed like 12 cars and won the race in his Williams. But it is
Williams.
I don't think the Williams is going to be quick. I think the Aston Martin might come back in the fold.
Mm-hmm. How's Ferrari going to do there, Mike?
They might be all right there. I don't know. I don't think their car's that good. I mean, they brought the new side pods a couple races ago, and then they had a really good race at the Austrian Grand Prix, and then they completely stunk up the show last week. I don't know what the hell's going on at Ferrari. They've been floundering for years now.
Will we have a new race winner?
No.
Will Red Bull streak in?
No. Unless they break or crash. That's the only way. That can happen, though. They could run into each other and take each other out like, Nico.
It could happen.
Nico and Lewis at the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix.
Or Verstappen and Ricciardo at Azerbaijan.
Or
remember that one?
No,
that was good.
That was good. Remember Verstappen running over Lewis's car at Monza? Just drove over him.
Well, I mean, their head's part of the wheel, part of the car. You got the car.
But I love Verstappen. They asked him about it. He's like, he didn't give me room. I'm like, what are you talking about? You drove over him.
You drove over the guy. What do you mean you have room? You had the whole other side of the track.
I was like, God damn, this guy is he's firmly holding the black hat down on his head. He doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
Anyway,
next week we have the Hungaroring. Next week we're gonna do a show on.
When are you coming back?
You see me sitting right here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a show on the team wars and the team wars within the car, like who's winning in qualifying, who's winning in the races, where those cars are now up until this point, and then we'll do some conspiracy theory.
So we're going to end this show?
We're going to end the show. You ready to end the show?
Bye.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all I got to say.
He loves Logan Sargeant. America.